Hi, all of you bold, beautiful, and brilliant, highly evolved souls. I'm Davina, and the topic of today is narcissists really don't care about you. um, I guess I've been waking up to this fact for the last couple of years now, and this morning just reflecting on that as hard as it is to believe, because we are empaths, we are deeply caring people. It is very hard to believe that someone else really doesn't care. Um, and yeah, it's the fact it is that narcissists really don't care. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your needs. They don't care about your boundaries. They will completely disregard your boundaries, disrespect you, um, possibly not acknowledge you at all. um, they really don't care. They don't give a damn. Um, you know, they are happy to keep the status quo, and the status quo means you are their supply, and they get to control you and abuse you. And as long as you're going along with that, they're very happy. They may even seem nice or kind because you're going along with it. But as soon as you show up authentically, they will run. They will run away. um, and I was just thinking about how I, the last kind of conversations I had with my parents, I had sent an email to my mother saying, you know what, I would really like a deeper connection with you. I would, and I talked about myself and how I'm highly sensitive, and I talked about my needs for empathy and vulnerability in our conversations, and um, humility, and when, like, this was a very just inviting, welcoming. I was just like saying, hey, let's try to do something a little different here. And I tried to, just be very understanding, and yeah, really all she could say was, I don't understand how you feel. And then she said, I hope you'll see fit to accept me as I am. After I had articulately, in paragraphs, very clearly explained what I was wanting, what I was needing, how I was feeling. Um, and she feigned this kind of ignorance. I don't know, I don't get it. But she got it. And she really didn't care. She really would have been happy if I would have said, okay, mom, sure, we'll just continue as things are. In other words, you control the conversation. You don't really listen to me. You're not really interested in me, my life, my feelings, and you continue to dismiss me. And yeah, that's how you like it, right? That's how she likes it, because she gets to, project onto me, her unwanted um, perception of herself as being weak or vulnerable, or all that stuff. And the same with my father. I had sent him an email and I said, Dad, these are my boundaries. And I listed them, like there was 5 of them. I'm like, I think there was about 5 anyway. I was like, you know what, I need a respectful conversation. That means, like, no judging me, no shoulding me. You should be doing this and you should be doing that. I need a balanced conversation back and forth. Um, and I said, no insults. He would insult me. And I'm like, no, there's going to be no insults anymore. And I listed this very clearly, just very matter of factly, this is what I need. This is what I don't want. And he didn't respond. He did what he usually does, and that's silent treatment. Like, let's just pretend that no one said anything, and he was just going to phone me and just continue like nothing had happened. And he, again, would have been perfectly happy to continue doing what he was doing. Again, controlling conversations, and yeah, putting me down, insulting me, judging my life. And that's what he liked. That's how he wanted it to be. And as soon as I showed up and said, this is me, this is authentically me, this is what I need, they had no interest in continuing a relationship. And there was no relationship. There was never a relationship. Um, so it's a really painful and heartbreaking thing to come to terms with, really, that they honestly didn't care if they hurt you. Like a healthy person would say, oh, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I didn't realize that I had been controlling the conversation so much. Please have patience with me and I'm willing to change. That's what a healthy person would say. So not only were they, not, like doing these things in the first place, but then they weren't even willing to, um, they weren't willing to change. In other words, they kind of already knew. They like, yeah, I know I'm doing this and I want to continue doing this, Um, yeah, my mom might have said, "Oh, wow, Davina, I didn't know this was how you felt, and I would love to have a deeper connection with you." Of course, I didn't realize how insane that is. I mean, compassionately, I speak, to my, you know, 2, 3 years ago self, that really had this really pure and like innocent and like idealistic view of that. Like, of course, my mother is going to want to have, a deeper connection with me. Of course, maybe we just haven't communicated this or something, and she's my mother. Of course, she's going to want to like connect with me. But no, the fact is, the very sad fact is that they don't care. They really don't care. And I compare it to like a kidnapper. When a kidnapper takes, like say it takes a person for ransom and they want the ransom money, and they care for that person, they will feed that person and they will make sure that they go to the bathroom, and maybe they'll even let them have a shower once in a while or whatever. They'll sort of care for that person just enough to keep them alive, to keep them a little bit happy so they don't, make their life miserable until they get the money. And then once they get the money, they don't care about that person. The kidnappers just want the money. That's what a narcissist is like. They keep you around as that supply to bolster their egos up. If they can project onto you their sense of insecurity and failure and shame and all the rest of it, that makes them quite happy. That relieves them, of their, then they don't have to look at their own stuff and their own pain and their own wounds. And yeah, it's really a sad thing, but it's much better to know and to not be in denial, as painful as it is, to come out of that and to realize that, um, you know, your parents likely really didn't, I mean, they don't have capacity to love. What I know about love is that the more I love myself, the more I'm able to love others, because it's like an overflowing of like I'm loving myself and it's overflowing into the person that I'm with. It's not even like I'm, I don't have to, like, it's still an action, and I do things that show my love as well. Narcissists do not have this capacity. They do not have empathy. They do not have that thing in their brain that allows them to look at another person and put themselves in their shoes and, really think, oh, how does that person feel? And given their background, how would that person feel in this situation? They do not have that capacity, nor do they have the capacity for real humility. They might have a false humility, but they don't have the capacity to really look at their humanity, look at how they've maybe made mistakes or hurt somebody, or they just don't want to learn or change. They're in a stagnant, very stagnant, like they're just stuck in that, like, whatever 2-year-old state. It's sad, but don't feel sorry for them. You don't need to pity them. They have made their own choices, and they're if they're just not meant to awaken in this lifetime. They're probably lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes behind you, really. Not that this is a race, because there really is no linear time anyway, but you know, they are you know, you are really evolved, and they are like, I say sometimes they like, they are Neanderthals. You were brought up by Neanderthals. Imagine being brought up by apes and wondering why these ape-like people, you know, couldn't love you better, you know. Yeah, that's what I got to say about that today. So, I hope this brought you some kind of enlightenment or insight today. I'm wishing you many, many blessings on this painful journey of healing and awakening. And I am Davina Shamaya, a life coach at Wellness Blooming. Thanks for watching.